It's not, we don't need to reinvent track and field in my
Noah Lyles just did what nobody else dared to do. He called out Michael Johnson's Grand Slam track league, and what followed shocked the entire track and field world. This wasn't just another athlete speaking his mind. This was the reigning world champion taking a flamethrower to a system being hyped as the future of the sport. Now, let's rewind. Grand Slam Track, or GST, is Michael Johnson's brainchild, designed to revolutionize track and field by putting everything under one umbrella. 4 slams, 1 league, massive prize money, broadcast deals, a promise to finally give elite athletes the platform they deserve. Sounds good, right? But not to Lyles. In a recent episode of the Beyond the Records podcast, Noah Lyles laid it out raw. His words, track and field with extra steps. That's how he described GST's complicated structure. And boy, he didn't stop there. He said we don't need to reinvent the sport, we just need to refine what already works. That comment alone lit up social media. Fans were torn. Some said Lyles was keeping it real. Others thought he was being petty. But here's the thing. Noah's not just some athlete throwing shade for fun. He's the face of American sprinting right now. The 100-meter world champion. A bold, outspoken leader who's not afraid to ruffle feathers if it means protecting the sport he loves, and he didn't hold back. One of his biggest criticisms? The confusion GST could create around titles. Lyles painted a scenario where 2 athletes show up on talk shows, both claiming to be the Grand Slam champion in the same event. How does that work? He asked. How can 2 people be the 100-meter Grand Slam champion at the same time? His point, you can't build a compelling narrative for fans when no one understands who's actually the winner. Lyles made it clear, branding matters. If fans are scratching their heads trying to figure out who holds which title, they're going to tune out. He's seen this happen before, and he's not wrong. Sports are built on rivalries, clarity, and star power. If GST muddies the waters, it could lose fans before it even takes off. But his criticisms didn't stop there. He also took issue with GST renting stadiums instead of investing in a permanent home base. In his view, if this league wants to be taken seriously, it needs roots, a place that fans can associate with the brand, something concrete, not just a pop-up tour of big promises. And then there's the money. While Michael Johnson has since secured major broadcast partners, Eurosport, NBC Sports, the CW, and TNT, Lyles pointed out that early on, GST had no visibility, no guaranteed exposure, no reason for elite athletes to jump ship from the Diamond League or World Athletics. And for athletes whose careers depend on being seen, that's a deal breaker. Despite the heat, Noah wasn't just tearing GST down, he offered solutions. He suggested that if Johnson really wants GST to work, he needs to secure long-term sponsorships and build a dedicated stadium in the US that would host all 4 Grand Slam events. Make it a home, build a legacy. That's how you draw in fans and athletes alike. Now, let's talk about timing. Lyles didn't need to compete in the 100 meters or 200 meters at the USA Championships this year. He's already qualified for both events at the World Championships, but he might still show up. And not just to run sprints, he's hinted at trying the 400 meters, a distance he hasn't touched seriously since 2016 when he clocked a personal best of 47.04 seconds. His fans are watching closely. If he runs it even just one round, it could shake things up big time. And let's not forget, Noah Lyles is as much about culture as he is about competition. He's got Adidas campaigns, magazine features, fashion collabs, and the kind of charisma that makes sponsors drool. When he talks, people listen. And when he throws shade, it echoes. Meanwhile, Michael Johnson is staying focused on his mission. In interviews, including one on The Rich Eisen Show, he said the sport has been broken for years. The top athletes rarely compete head-to-head. Prize money is weak. Fans get tired of watching meaningless heats with no real stakes. So GST was born. With a $100,000 first-place payout and a $6.6 million total prize pool, he's offering incentives track stars have never seen before. Michael Johnson didn't stay quiet. He heard Noah Lyles' criticism, every word of it. And on his appearance on The Rich Eisen Show, he made it crystal clear. He's not backing down. Johnson, a 4-time Olympic gold medalist and one of the most respected voices in track and field, had a bold vision with Grand Slam track, and he's still all in. According to him, the sport has been broken for years. Too many meets, too little money, not enough structure. And worst of all, the best athletes rarely race each other. Track and field doesn't need more events, he said. It needs better events. That's what GST was meant to fix. 4 huge meets: Kingston, Miami, Philly, and Los Angeles. 1 league, 1 set of rules, with 96 elite athletes, 48 Grand Slam racers, and 48 challengers, all competing under one banner, with the biggest prize pool the sport has ever seen. And Johnson dropped a bomb of his own, $100,000 to the winner of each event. That's not a typo, that's real money. In a sport where many athletes hustle just to pay for flights and coaching, that kind of payday is game-changing. Add the total prize pool, $6.6 million. And now GST isn't just a vision, it's a revolution. The message is loud and clear. This league isn't just for fun, it's for keeps. But here's the twist. Despite the prize money, the venues, the broadcast deals with NBC, CW, Eurosport, and TNT Sports, Lyles still said no. And that made headlines. Because when the biggest name in the sport opts out of your revolutionary new league, it raises eyebrows. Is he being smart or stubborn, strategic or skeptical? Lyles defended his decision by calling it timing. He said GST needed another year to work out its kinks. He wanted to see structure, sustainability, and clarity. To him, things still felt messy. Titles were confusing, scheduling was unclear, and the league's identity wasn't solidified yet. And like any top-tier athlete, he wasn't willing to gamble his brand on something that felt half-built. But Johnson clapped back. He didn't name names, but he sent a message to all the critics. You can get hyper-focused on who's not here, he said, but that disrespects the 48 athletes who are here. These are Olympians, world champions, finalists, and they've proven themselves at the highest level. In other words, GST isn't waiting for Noah Lyles. It's moving forward, with or without him. Still, Lyles' influence is undeniable. He's more than just a fast runner, he's a cultural force. His voice shapes conversations, his choices set trends. When he says something's off, people pay attention, and his public skepticism has sparked real questions. Can GST survive without its biggest stars? Will athletes like Sha'Carri Richardson, Letziel Tebogo, or Ariane Knighton follow Lyles' lead? Or will they eventually buy into Johnson's vision? Meanwhile, Noah isn't sitting still. He's teasing a move back into the 400 meters, the race that made Michael Johnson a legend. That's right, Lyles might be stepping into Johnson's old territory. At the USA Championships, he only needs to compete in one event to keep his place at the World Championships. He's already in for the 100 and 200 meters, but fans are buzzing. Will he test himself in the 400? His current personal best? 47.04 seconds. Solid, but nowhere near world class yet. But if there's anyone who can level up fast, it's Lyles. He's already got the speed. Now, with enough training, he might just have the endurance too. And if he steps on that line and smashes a new PB, it could be the ultimate statement. A statement that says, I don't need GST to be great, I am greatness. That's the crux of this whole story. It's not just about track and field. It's about identity, about vision, about who gets to shape the future of the sport. Michael Johnson wants to rebuild track with structure, money, and showmanship. Noah Lyles wants to refine what's already working and make sure it stays athlete first, not business first. It's a classic clash, the legend versus the star, the visionary versus the voice. Both want what's best for track. They just see it differently. And fans, we're in the middle of it, watching, debating, and waiting to see who was right all along. So what do you think? Is GST the bold new chapter the sport needs? Or is Lyles right to hold out for something better? One thing's for sure, this battle isn't over. It's just getting started. And as always, the next move is on the track.